Welcome back, welcome back. Right, that's what I feel like I need after I missed last Monday. Like, I was traveling, so let me start with an apology for missing last Monday's session, which was my plate, my choice. Sincerest apology. First time I've missed a Monday since I've been doing this, which started in February. So truly apologize. I definitely don't like missing. This matters to me more than you all know. And I care about what we do here. I care about what we're building here each and every Monday. So listen, I truly apologize for missing last Monday. Like I said, I was on the road traveling back, and it just was no way for me to make it work during travel. So, with that being said, though, I'm back, right? I am back, not to miss another Monday. All right. And let's get to it. Of course, you all know you are tuning in and locking in for what the single life, what you are tuning and locking in for the single life. And the last couple of weeks, we have talked about this topic of am I ready to receive, right? Am I ready to receive? And this is going to be the third installment of Am I Ready to Receive, right? Because, like you said, when we desire to go to the next level, I don't care if it's a job, I don't care if it's school, I don't care if it's, from single to marriage or whatever. When you desire to elevate to the next level, the question has to be asked, am I ready to receive? Right? And oftentimes we don't know all that comes with the next level. God knows, which is why we see and experience some of the things in that stage that we do, because God knows the next level. And God knows what's going to be required at the next level. God knows what you're going to have to deal with on the next level. So a lot of what we see and a lot of what we endure is just preparation for the next level. And that's what we're going to get into. That's kind of like a foreshadowing for where we're going to go to today. All right. So I want to tell you this. I want to say this, and I want to connect with everybody um, from this standpoint. Right. Take your mind back. I don't care how old you are. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Right. It doesn't matter. Take your mind back to your senior year. Right. Your senior year of, I don't care if it was high school. I don't care if it was college, but take your mind back to your senior year. All right. Now, we all know one of the most beautiful things about your senior year is that as you get to the close of the senior year, you realize the finality of the moment. Like, I'm done, right? Like, I'm done. I am done. If it was high school, I'm done with high school. 12 years of consistent education, I am done, right? When you take that last test, it's like, I'm done, right? I'm finished. You can celebrate the jubilation of, I have completed this process. Senior year of college, no different. I have completed this process. I'm done with this phase. I'm now going to the next level, right? We can all remember the excitement that we experienced in that phase. Yes, yes, you all agree. I know you do, right? All right, so let me help you understand something. That moment of jubilation, that moment of joy, because you have reached the end of this said testing phase, from college, or well, let's go from kindergarten to 12th grade, or college freshman year to senior year, right? You are done, and you celebrate the fact that I no longer have to deal with this. I'm done, right? Cool, cool. Let me let you in on a secret. That will never happen with God. You will never reach that level of jubilation to say, I'm done with the test with God, because you're always going to have tests. You're always going to have tests. That celebratory moment, like, oh man, I got, this is it. No more tests, baby. I'm done. Nah, you never reach that with God. You're always going to be tested. And I say that because I'll let you guys in on a moment yesterday. Yesterday morning was just tough on just some different levels for me. And um, I just, after I had to open up service for those of y'all that attend New Life, I had to open up service. So I open up service. And then after I leave from that, I go into my mom's office and I'm telling her like something that I was dealing with. And my dad's office door was open. And she says, your dad remembers those days. He remembers the seeds we had to sow. He remembers the work we had to put in. Like, he remembers those days. Right. And my dad, she kind of takes me into my dad's office, and he starts talking to me. And I'm not an emotional guy. For those of y'all who truly know me, you know I'm not an emotional guy. But man, I just broke down and had a moment yesterday. Like I really like boohoo cried yesterday morning. And I told my dad, I said, Dad, I just feel like I'm being tested. I was like, I just feel like I'm being tested right now. And I was like, it's a lot. And he said, son, he said, number one, take the ED off of it. He said, because I need you to understand something. With God, you will always have tests. You will always have, I don't care what level you go to. I don't care what area of your life you're working in. You will always have tests. You will never get away from testing God. He said, so go ahead and fix your mind on that process right now. I don't care how good it looks. I don't care how beautiful it is. You will always have testing God. Okay. I'm gonna always have tests. So I don't get to celebrate and be like, man, I passed all these tests. I'm good on. That's not how this works. Okay, cool, right? So that was tough, right? That was tough. But he said this also. He said, we will always be tested in God. And he said, you show your readiness by your ability to continue passing the test. And that's the thing, right? So in the single life, it's like crazy. It's like, yo, I feel like I've been single long enough. Yo, I'm ready for the next level. God determines when we're ready for the next level. Well, God determines that by our actions. Let me say it like that. God determines our readiness for the next level based on our actions. You don't believe me? Let's jump to something real quick. James 1, 2 through 4. Can y'all get to that for me? James 1, 2 through 4. I got my other scripture up that I was reading. All right. James 1, 2 through 4. James 1, 2 through 4. All right, here we go. All right, James 1. James 1, verse 2 through 4. And I'm going to read it out of the Amplified version, okay? It says, consider it nothing but joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you fall into various trials. Be assured that the testing of your faith through experience produces endurance, leading to spiritual maturity and inner peace. Verse 4. And let endurance have its perfect result and do a thorough work so that you may be perfect and completely developed in your faith, lacking nothing. I just need you to just really listen. That was a lot, right? So we're going to break it down again. James 1, 2 through 4. Consider it nothing but joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you fall into various trials. Okay, cool. Pause right there. So that means when we are tested, we don't get mad. We don't get upset. We don't complain. We don't whine about how long we've been single. We don't whine about the people around us that seem to be getting married. We don't whine about the things that look like they are just falling into place for others. We don't whine because when we are tested, we consider it joy. And that in and of itself is almost like an oxymoron. It's almost like a contradiction because you're like, why would I consider it joy to be tested? Now, if I was to go back to my school days, I never enjoyed a test day. No, even if I knew the material, I was never excited about a test day. Who gets excited about a test? You got to be locked in, focused, and then you got to check and recheck, making sure no. Right? So it's almost a contradiction in and of itself because it's hard to consider it joy to go through struggle. It's hard to consider it joy to go through pain. It's hard to consider it joy to work an uphill battle. It's hard to be joyous when I'm going uphill. It's hard, right? But the word says, my brothers and sisters, whenever you fall into various trials, well, consider it nothing but joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you fall into various trials, be assured that the testing of your faith through experience produces endurance. Now, let's think about that word endurance. Y'all know I'm a fitness guy and I love it, right? Endurance only comes when you're tested. Like you've got to push your body in order to gain that endurance, right? So because I push my body, like I could go outside right now and run a 5K like it was nothing. I could go run a 10K like it was nothing because I put my body through times of tests where now I have expanded my level of endurance, right? Because I work out and I run or walk daily, my endurance level is very high. So I'm able to withstand much more. You got to see this, right? You got to see this, right? So because that endurance level is much higher, I can deal with more of the test when I'm running. I don't get tired as easy as the person next to me, right? I can shift it into another gear and speed up if I need to, or slow down if I need to. If we're running uphill, I've been tested, so I'm ready. So now I say to you, if you don't go through the test, then that means you don't ever expand your level of endurance. So whenever you face a trial, it could be this big, but it takes you out of here because you haven't allowed your endurance to grow. You haven't allowed your endurance to be tested. God says, I know you're going to need this at the next level, so you've got to be tested right here. You don't know what the next level looks like. You don't know what your spouse is going to require out of you. You don't know what your spouse is going to bring out of you, whether it be negatively or positively. All you know right now is I need my endurance to be at an all-time high. So I got to have joy when I'm being tested. I can't complain. I can't get upset. And that's hard because there are days where life happens. There are days where frustration, it happens. We cannot control it. But our mindset says, I got to consider it joy. God, you're giving me another opportunity to pass the test. I'm joyful in this moment. I'm happy in this moment. I look forward to this moment because my endurance is going to grow. What? How can you go? Think about this, right? Think about somebody who starts off and they says, okay, I'm going to go walk for 5 minutes every day. And then because they walked for 5 minutes every day, they say, oh, shoot, now I can go walk for 10 minutes or 15 minutes every day. Then they say, oh, now I can run. Yeah, I'm going to go run for 10 minutes. And then it goes, I'm going to run for 30 minutes. And then it goes, I'm going to go do a mile. And then it goes, I'm going to go do a 5K, which is 3.2 miles. And then you just build up from there. Guess what happened? You got to the higher level because your endurance was tested and you remained faithful through the test. I'm telling you that in the single phase, remain faithful. Withstand, allow your endurance to be expanded. Okay, listen, let's keep on. I didn't want to stay right there for the whole time. All right. So be assured that the testing of your faith through experience produces endurance, leading to what? Spiritual maturity and inner peace. Verse 4, though. And let endurance have its perfect result and do a thorough work so that you may be perfect and completely developed in your faith, lacking nothing. So in order to be developed in my faith, I've got to go through the test. Which is why we celebrate when the tests come, because I know, man, I'm moving from faith to faith. I'm growing. That spiritual maturity is growing. It's so much in that, but I don't want to just like spend the rest of the day, right? Okay, so cool. Let's think about this. What is the purpose of a test in school? What is the purpose? What is the purpose of a test in school, right? The test is to show if you have mastered the material or if you struggle with the material and you need a little more time, right? That's essentially what a test is. That's all it boils down to. Either I've mastered the material or I don't quite get it. I need a little more time to work on this thing, right? That's it. That's all you get, right? So my daughter and I are having this conversation and she asked me, she says, Dad, like, why do we have to be tested on certain things? I'm never going to use this stuff. I couldn't disagree. There are some things you're going to be tested on that you're never going to use. Yeah. Right. Like she said to a friend one time, she said, there's no point in us having to learn how to break down fractions because I don't have to have fractions to buy a house and I don't have to learn how to use fractions to do a job. I said, well, Jordan, it depends on the job. It depends on the job. Right. I don't have to deal with fractions, but you may. It just depends on the job. Right. But the bigger thing that I wanted her to understand was that they are teaching you to think, number one, outside the box. They're teaching you to think outside the box. They're testing your mind in a challenging manner for you to show that you can grow and expand and grasp the material and learn it. They're pushing you to another level. They are stretching you. They are stretching you. The people who do well in school are the people who are okay being stretched. See, the people who resist the stretch, the people who don't like the stretch are the people who don't do well in school because you just want to hold on to the information that you already know. You just want to keep doing what you've always done. And somebody wise once said, if you keep doing what you've always done, you will get what you've always gotten. I can't expect for something different if there has never been any change over here. Our testing God are to stretch us, to prepare us, and to allow us to show ourselves ready for the next level. I'll say it again. Our testing God are to stretch us, to prepare us, and to allow us to show ourselves ready for whatever comes next. Because you've got to understand, God knows what's next. God knows what's behind the wall. You can only see what's currently in front of you. God knows what's on the other side. So if you say, well, this is all I need for this, and God says, no, there's so much more. There's so much greater. You like, why do I need to learn how to manage money and to manage my finances? God says, I am trying to put entrepreneurship in you. I am trying to put multi-million-dollar business in you. I am trying to put growth in you. And so in order to grow, you got to master where you are. Yeah, see, the single life applies to so many other levels. We are supposed to master it in this phase. We are supposed to master the test in this phase. I keep saying every week or every other week that we are here, welcome the test. Welcome the test. Welcome the test. You don't believe me? I got you. Let's look at Proverbs 17:3. Proverbs 17:3. All righty? Proverbs 17:3. And I'll just stick in the Amplified, all right? Proverbs 17:3. The refining pot is for silver, and the furnace is for gold, but the Lord tests hearts. It doesn't say, it says test with an S, which means there's a continual thing. The Lord will continue to test your heart to see where it is. I mean, it's not rocket science. God is going to test us. Our job is to pass the test. Our job is to show that we're ready. My dad told me yesterday, he said, son, he said, that is why, he said, it's hard. He said, I'm not going to tell you that it's not. It's hard. It gets tough. He said, but son, we do what we do unto the Lord, not unto people, because people will let us down. That's a fact. I can't run from that. We will let each other down. Friends will let you down. Family will let you down. God will never let you down. That is why we have to stay focused. God, I'm doing this unto you. I don't focus on what's around me. Yeah, I'm tired. Yeah, I don't feel like it. Yeah, I feel like you just tested me last night. And God, dog, I ain't even had a chance to recover from that test. But guess what? I'm going to consider it joy that you tested me again because I'm growing. Okay. I'm growing. I'll give you an example. See, it says the refining pot is for silver and the furnace is for gold. That's cool. But the Lord, he's separating himself. But the Lord tests hearts. I'll tell you something. I can remember my mom when I was younger, right? My dad used to always say this thing. He should be like, son, you only get one mom. You only got one mother. You don't get another one. And, you know, in the younger days, you don't really think about that and truly value the weight of that statement. You know what I'm saying? But as I've gotten older, I've learned to value my mother in so many ways, right? And that's why it's like, if she calls me, I got it, whatever. What you need, Mom? I got it, right? And so I can remember times in life where my mom may ask me to do something. And I didn't feel like it, nor did I want to. But I did it because it was my mother. And when I would do it, my mom would say, son, don't worry about it because your heart's not in the right place. It's okay. When I tell you it's nothing worse than your mother telling you it's okay, don't even worry about it because your heart is not in the right place. Woo! That used to break me down on another level. That lady would say, son, it's okay. Don't even worry about it. I'm going to do it myself because your heart is not in the right place. She was able to see that because of my actions showed that my heart wasn't there. Did I do it? Yes. Same for God. God tests the heart. You think that God doesn't see that your heart is not in the right place when you're being tested? You think that God doesn't see that? You think that God is not aware that your heart is not in the right place? You think that God doesn't see? You just did it. You just did it. It was okay. You just did it. You did it. You just did it. That's it. You did it. You checked the box. That is it. There was nothing more, nothing less. You did it, and that's done. No, you need something a little stronger. You have to show God that your heart is in the right place with your actions. My heart is ready, God. I'm not doing this with an attitude. It's a joy. And that's true maturity right there. That is maturity on a whole nother level. That is growth on a whole nother level. That is development on a whole nother level. Your heart, it has to be in the right place, because that's the only thing that God is looking at. Yeah, for people, we can fix our face. I love doing this. Yeah, I'm happy to do this. I'm so excited for you. Oh my God. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Right. We can fix that. We can show that. We can show that we enjoy that. God says, I don't need that fake stuff. I'm looking at the real, your heart, because you cannot lie right here. All right. All right. All right. I don't want to keep holding y'all up. I appreciate y'all being locked in on a Monday. Right. So I'm going to give y'all one more scripture. Romans 5:3-4. Romans 5:3-4. And I told you I'm going to just stick in the Amplified for today. It's cool. Romans 5, verse 3-4. Here we go. And not only this, but with joy, let us exalt in our sufferings and rejoice in our hardships, knowing that hardship, distress, pressure, trouble produces patient endurance. Oh my God, there's that word endurance again. So obviously, where we're going in life, endurance is very important. We must have endurance to get where we're going in life. You got to have stamina. You got to be able to withstand where you're going. And again, we don't know. You don't know what the next level looks like. You don't know what the next phase looks like. You don't know where the next stop on the journey is. You don't know, but God does, which is why he said right now in this single phase, build up your endurance. Build up your stamina. Build up your strength. Don't focus on the other. Build up your endurance. How do I build up that endurance? God, you keep testing me. And every time you test me, all right, I didn't approach yesterday with the right attitude. I let it beat me. I was emotional. I was crying. It took me to a new place, but I got it. I got it now. Oh, I got it. Let the test come again. See, sometimes you just need that little checkup to show you where you are, because you thought you had it. You thought you mastered it. You thought you were in a good space. And then when the test comes, it's like, golly. You know how you could take a test in school and your friend or family, mom, dad, whoever may have asked you, they say something like, how did you do on the test? And you say, oh, I felt like I did good. I killed that test. Yeah, I got that. And then the test score come back. And when the score comes back, you like, I ain't do as good as I thought as I felt like I did in that moment, right? Like real life. I didn't do as good as I felt like I did. And that's how life happens on this journey, in this phase, in this stage that you're in. You may feel like you did good, but sometimes you might need a checkup to show you or to expose it. I really didn't master that like I thought I did. I really wasn't the best in that moment like I thought I was. There's so much more that I got to work on and develop and grow in that phase. But we're not done. I said verses 3-4. But I'm going to do 3 again. Listen, and not only this, but with joy, let us exalt in suffering. So again, it's saying, let us have joy when we suffer. I need you to understand that takes true maturity to be suffering, to be struggling, to be battling, and to say, God, I still thank you, and you are still the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, and I'm not worried about this. I'm not going to stress about this. Man, I'm tired of being lonely. Oh my God. Last year, when we moved into the winter season, I said, hey, next year, I'm not going to be by myself. Next year, I'm going to have somebody. Next year, I'm going to be. And guess what? It's now next year, and you may not be where you said or thought that you would be, but it's okay, because I'm still going to have joy, because that is where spiritual maturity reigns supreme. I'm still going to have joy. People going to think that you have lost your mind, because how can you be joyful in a moment like this? But that is what faith is. Because see, okay, you have to think about it like this. When somebody gives you a gift, you don't rejoice or get excited because they said, I'm going to get you something for your birthday. You save that joy for the day that you actually receive the gift for your birthday, right? See, God works the other way. God said, yeah, I got something for you on the other side. My job is to be joyful right now. I don't know what the other side looks like. I don't know what day that comes. I don't know what day I'm promoted. I don't know what day I'm elevated to the next level. I don't know. But my job is to be excited and to operate in faith and to find myself in a place of joy each and every day. How can you be angry? I had somebody ask me at the gym one time. They was like, man, I've never seen you like upset. What am I going to be upset about? Each day I'm blessed to be able to go to the gym and work out. That is a blessing because there are people who cannot get up and work out because they can't move. They want to work out. They have some type of ailment. I'm blessed because I get to go do that. I can't be mad. I'm not going to be upset. So when I'm faced with a trial, I'm not going to be upset with tears in my eyes. God, I just thank you. I'm blessed. I thank you for it, Lord. God, I thank you because the word also says he won't put more on you than you can bear because he knows what you can handle. You are just being stretched, not stretched to be broken, just stretched to expand. That's what you got to think about. I'm not being stretched to be broken. I'm being stretched so that I can expand my thinking, so that I can expand my process, so that I can expand my vision, so that I can expand my life. So God, I welcome the stretch. I don't resist it. I welcome it. I don't resist it. I welcome it. All right. Verse 4. Let me finish everything. And not only this, but with joy, let us exalt in sufferings and rejoice in hardships, knowing that hardships, distress, pressure, trouble produces patient endurance. Verse 4. And endurance, proven character, spiritual maturity and proven character, hope and confidence, assurance of eternal salvation. Let me read that one more time. Let me get that. Let me come a little closer. My eyes got a little blur. Okay. All right, produces patient endurance, and endurance, proven character, spiritual maturity, and proven character, hope and confidence, assurance of eternal salvation. That's what you've got to understand. See, the weird thing is to be in this place where life tells us to be upset about something. Life tells us to be mad about something. Life tells us like it's not going your way. You need to be aggravated right now. Life tells us to be frustrated right now. Life tells you to be angry right now. Life tells you like you tired of going through this right now. Life tells you, oh my God, how many times am I going to be tested? Life tells you that for the other person over there, it looked like it was easy. Life tells you that for over there, they don't look like they're being challenged like you. That's what life keeps telling you. And your mind wants to subside and throw a pity party and say, you know what? I am tired. But how can I be tired? And God gave me another day to go after this thing. God gave me another day. I woke up this morning with breath in my lungs to go out. So I'm not upset that I'm still in a single phase. No, God, I'm being tested right now. And I thank you for the test. God, I'm not going to be upset and get up another day and curse my position and curse where I am and talk about why I don't have this. I'm not going to waste another day saying the wrong thing with my mouth. I'm going to wake up and say, God, I thank you for training me where I am. God, I thank you for expanding me where I am. God, I thank you that I am able to experience growth where I am. God, I thank you that I'm able to experience the blessing where I am. See, that is a blessing to be able to do. You are growing where you are. There's an old saying that the people say, like, they be like, oh man, the grass is greener on the other side. And there's another saying that came back to that. It says, the grass isn't greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. Water where you are. Develop where you are. Grow where you are. Hey, man, listen, I appreciate you all tuning in today, and I look forward to getting back with you guys next week. Listen, thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for giving me these 28 minutes that you locked in with me today and each and every Monday, all right? So listen, I hope that you all have a phenomenally blessed week. I hope that you guys pass every test that comes your way. I know it's hard, but we're going to approach it with joy. We no longer approach it with anger. We no longer approach it with frustration. We approach it with joy, even when we make the mistake and even when we don't hit the mark like we need to, because that's what we're going to do. You're going to make mistakes, but we approach it with joy. We're thankful.